Hi. I wasn't gonna post today. I guess I'm on video 1400. I had a video complaining about making a journal for John and Hank Green, and the internet was telling me don't send it to them. I was gonna post that, but I didn't really want that to be 1400, so I was gonna do it out of order. I guess this could be 1400. We'll make this one 1400 and I'll post the other one as 1401 so you can see me complaining on a video that's not a significant video. But, I wanted to talk about, because I've been doing research. I've been studying all these articles and doing a lot of research, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it thoroughly. But my therapist, I was talking to my therapist today. I was telling her about, because I was studying kind of the migration patterns, and I got in kind of a bit about like evolution, and she was kind of like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, she was just like over my head. She was just like, I don't even know. So I started explaining it to her, and she was like, as a preference, and I kind of know this about my therapist, she is a very, very devout Christian, and it's like the difference between her and I. She just kind of has very Christian values, and she's just a very type of person, and that's fine. It's fine if you have Christian values. Like, that's just who she is, and I'm not. I read the Bible and I study the Bible sometimes, but I just don't have the same kind of Christian values that she does. Whatever. But I think that we should all agree on certain scientific terms as certain things and certain scientific things, because science and religion just don't have you can still believe in religion and believe in science, and that the two are not mutually exclusive, in my opinion. But I was very surprised at her because she started espousing creationist views, because I started mentioning evolution, and she was like, she told me, and this is kind of, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but she was like, I don't understand, in all of the years since humans have come forward, why since then no new, why don't anything just spring forward again? Why don't we get any new species just springing forward like humans have? That's a very creationist statement, in my opinion. And I was very shocked at this statement that she said, because she's like, she thinks that these species, that there's this idea that there's kind of like a staticness to species, that humans just came forward and that we just spring forward, and that there's no development of our species, that we just exist as a static state, and that we're not even now constantly evolving as a species, that things don't affect us as a species, and genetically speaking, generation to generation, even from 1900, generationally speaking, to now, we've gotten bigger, taller as a species. We've gotten bigger as a species, and we're changing and evolving as a species, that we're gaining certain abilities to handle certain diseases and things, that we're getting better as a species to handle certain things, because we're getting genetically better to handle these things, because generationally speaking, we're evolving generation to generation, and that's just, as a species, we're becoming more, we're first of all, we're genetically more diverse, but also we're evolving as a species. And she thinks that there's this static state of humanity, that we've evolved to a certain point, and that we're not changing, and that environmental factors aren't changing our genetic diversity at all, and that genetic factors aren't changing the way that we exist, and that. So I was very shocked at this. So I was just like, she's saying that nothing, more why haven't more humans come forward, or why haven't more intelligent species come forward? And I was just so shocked at this. And I was like, well, it took over 500,000 years for humans to evolve. It takes a while for us to evolve to our point. I was like, I said, they're discovering scientists are discovering in the Amazon, or, I didn't say this specifically, but I said new species are coming forward all the time. I said, we're discovering new species all the time. I said, new bugs and lizards and all sorts of things are being discovered all the time. I said, give it 500,000 years. Our planet is not going to look the same as it does now. We're not, the tectonic plates are going to shift. The tectonic plates are going to shift. The temperature of the planet's going to shift. Our species is not going to look the same as we do now in 500,000 years. All of the animals that we are currently seeing on our planet we're not all going to look the same as we do now. It's just inevitable. Like, because evolution is going to continue on, we're not going to stay in a static state. We're going to continue on. That's just the nature of evolution. It's just going to continue to evolve and change and adapt to our environment to the most suitable for what is necessary to these changes that were being affected. And right now, the planet is getting hotter. So animals that are more adapted to a hotter environment are going to be able to survive more genetically predisposed. And that goes to humans too. Humans that are more likely to adapt to these hotter environments are going to be more likely to survive in the future. And that's just smart, values. I mean, how is global warming affecting the way that we exist and survive in the environment? And how is that going to affect life expectancy? How is climate change affecting life expectancy changes? We have medical advancements that are, affecting the ability of us to live longer. But how is climate change going to affect our ability to live longer? So it's kind of like a crapshoot, So it's all, we have processed foods, and we have things like, so it's all interesting. It's all interesting how it's going to, play out in the long run. I'm curious to see what happens. I won't be able to live that long on it. I won't be able to live to see what happens in the future, but if I could live like forever just to see the timeline, that'd be great. Just scientifically speaking, just to do a long-term study of the effects of all of these things, and that'd be just great. It'd be great. Environmental factors on the evolutionary standards of humans. That'd be, like, if I were a scientist studying biology, I would study all those factors. It'd be fun. I'm so dorky. So anyway, as I was talking about it with my therapist, and she was like, "What are you gonna do the rest of your day?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. See how family size affects brain development in children." Because I was looking up scientific articles, and I was like, I want to see how family size affects. So I looked up an article, and it's from 1956 about family size and intelligent development. But it didn't talk about like social, because what I was thinking about, like, language acquisition, and it didn't really answer my question about like language acquisition and like social development and family size, because I didn't really find any articles about that. Because I was thinking like the size of the brain and social development, because I was hypothesizing that in larger families, the size of the brain and language acquisition parts of the brain because children in larger families have better socialization skills than single child homes or like smaller family homes. They're better able to like reason and like negotiate and like socialize better, would have bigger brains as far as like social development, although than single child households that didn't have as much socialization. And so I was wondering like if there were any studies done on that, because I was curious to see like what brain development looked like in children. So, but I didn't see any reports on that, and I was curious to see what that looked like, or if there was any like what brain scans looked like on children. But I didn't see any. I didn't see any like reports on that. I was looking on Google Scholar for any scientific analysis, and I hadn't seen any. So apparently I was having an original idea. Oh God. All right.